we're hopping into game number 1 of a brand new best of 3, as we just said, and it's 2 brand new teams. Now, we picked this one very specifically because one of the teams featured in this matchup were the champions of the last 2v2 tournament. And that would, of course, be the team spawning here in the north, Team A.P.S, Team Axiom Professional Streamers, featuring Axiom's Crank and his teammate Heart.
In the bottom position, as the red Terran, it's Gumiho and his partner, the orange Protoss, Choya.
Yeah,
Together they make GoodGod.
Yeah, I kind of almost wish they would have called themselves Team Alima League, though, or something like that. Is they are kind of the regulars over there. It's good to see them, but man, Choya actually has been impressing us a lot lately with his cheese, which is something that I think definitely comes in handy when it comes to 2v2s. Gumiho, on the other hand, I don't know how this is going to go for him. I definitely think mech is one of the stronger things we've seen in a lot of 2v2s, but at the same time, Hart has proven to be a badass and has almost pulled off a 1v2 with Bio. Not quite as stark as Parting just now, but oh my goodness, that series was amazing.
Yeah. The best thing about Hart and Crank is that they did seem like they were in sync. Not only did they have a plan, but it worked out. You know, luck, skill, just, you know, teamwork, I don't know.
Well, look at this teamwork, Zombie Grub, contributing to one another's wall. I mean,
it doesn't exist when we play teams.
I know. This is like, can you please just, what are you doing right now? Stop. But there's, while there's no creeps for to worry about in this matchup, it is a mirror matchup. Terran Protoss versus Terran Protoss. And one thing for Team GoodGod is they haven't really discovered the magic that is Phoenix. You know, maybe they know about it, maybe they don't. But in the last 2v2 tournament, we learned that Phoenixes are just flippin' amazing. Doesn't matter what race you're fighting against. I guess in the context of 1v1s, Phoenixes are usually not so good because they need support, and you can't really go amass Phoenixes and support. But in a 2v2 setting, you get that support in the form of your teammates.
We saw a lot of Phoenixes, and we also saw a lot of Stargates. Proxy Stargates, I mean. So, not too surprising to see Crank maybe busted out here. Could have been a little closer maybe, but that's alright. It's alright. It's still mid of the map.
Well, I mean, I like the early expansion at Heart. We'll see if we can get away with this. Crank has not contributed to the wall because he is proxying. This is something I actually forgot about him doing quite a bit of, but at the same time, so is Choya. And sadly, I don't believe they scouted one another. Choya might see Crank's pylon just now, actually. Maybe? Nah.
Used. So, how? What?
I've been receiving complaints, by the way, that we allowed Parting to have a teammate in the tournament. It's unfair for the rest of the 2v2 teams.
I wanted to ask if he let Top 3 micro at all.
That's something we should definitely find out once we get out of this.
Because you think it would be like obvious because like good control, but honestly, if you think that you have control just by yourself, that can actually be a detriment because you go left, they go right, you screw up, you lose. So I don't know. Parting, that was all Parting.
Well, as much as I want to keep dwelling on that last series and just see with the dumb grin on my face, we do have this one kicking off with oracles for both sides. Now, the way this will work out, interestingly enough, is not only are Crank and Choya proxying oracles, they're proxying oracles on each other. There is no real defense here, whereas Heart, you may have had a couple of Marines, maybe Gumiho has a Widow Mine, but Crank is going to have to rely on a Photon Overcharge that he barely won't have for this first oracle.
Was Crank gonna proxy something else before it was found by Gumiho? I don't know. Whatever. Oracle gets into his main base, and that's already a couple of kills.
Yeah, he's gonna pull the probes off this, and Hart actually can't help with much. He's got 4 Marines that might buy some time, but the nice thing is, this isn't so devastating. In a 1v1, you're screwed by this. But if this gets out of hand, because Hart went for a much faster expand, so did Crank. Hart can always float him some minerals to make up that difference, but let's see, where is Crank's Oracle? Did he cancel it?
It was a Widow Mine. No, Widow Mine killed it in Choya's base. Really nice, helpful defense from Gumiho.
Sneaky, sneaky, sneaky. Oh, there we go. I see it on cooldown up there. It's looking for the one that hit it.
Yeah.
But the Photon Overcharge will keep this alive. Now, this is the difference, though. These expansions are a pretty big deal. Gumiho playing a bit slower, doesn't exactly have a lot marching across the map, but we do have continued Oracle production out of Choya, and as mentioned before, he's known to be a little bit cheesy. I guess the question is, can Hart really sustain this? He's got enough Marines to take on 1 Oracle without question, but can he take on 3?
That's a good question. He is bothering the missile turret. He's not, you know, just being content with nothing, but it's only at the natural, and He actually might need one in the main. He did scan Gumiho. You know, wondering if Gumiho was going mech, bio, what, and he saw that it was Starport, but you know, he doesn't know it's gonna be Banshees apparently.
Well, Marines.
So, hey!
Marines, please, they take out one of the oracles. Almost gets two.
That's just so sad. I am so sad right now. Someone who has done this actually.
I still don't think this is that bad of a situation though. Those earlier expansions are going to pay off really well, and in retrospect, Heart. Sorry, I keep forgetting it's different controls for TV2. Heart didn't lose that much. 3 SCVs for 3 oracles? That's not that big of a deal. I mean, the Marines were more, of course, but still, that's the economy remains somewhat stable behind this.
Stupid Marines.
Gumiho is
Stupid Marines.
Gumiho walks right past the Stargate from Crank, and Crank's gonna reinvest in an Oracle, but sadly, oh my god, the rally is. Are you for real, Gumiho?
Oh my god, Gumiho was gonna go into mech, by the way. It wasn't a Banshee brother, Raven and some Shanks.
I think Ravens could definitely be cool with the dynamic that is this matchup. If Crank goes for like Stalkers or Phoenix, point defense drones gonna be fantastic. Choya definitely putting a lot of the emphasis on the way this game started. Actually ends up having the smallest supply recovering out of this, despite the fact that Crank took so many losses. He actually does have a pretty decent supply count. Again, the teamwork, the synergy, the missile turret, it doesn't seem like much, but it's kept Crank going, and no more threat from the Oracles.
The Oracle gets back into, or try to get back into the Gumiho's natural, but just finds Choya's natural instead, and hey, probe kills, kill. Choya's Oracle goes into Crank's natural for some revenge.
Oh yeah, there's no turret over here. Crank's pulling the probes right away though. The nice thing is he can retreat to the turret. Looks like he's actually going to try to retreat to the Marines.
Retreat out of the energy.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, running. But Gumiho still hasn't found that proxy Stargate, and right now I guarantee you one of them is yelling at the other saying, like, hey, seriously, where did Crank proxy from?
Crank's going to scout the hidden base from Choya. In the bottom right.
Thank God for that Oracle. It might not. It seems silly, but this is a pretty big deal to reveal this. Not to mention he's followed this up with Phoenix, and Gumiho still. Oh my God! I can't. What
are they even searching for now? Are they still searching for this? Or are they expecting a War Prism somewhere?
I don't know. Maybe, one of mine's gonna pick up a Marine. That's kind of nice to see, but sadly, despite the fact that he does have Phoenix in play, he can't exactly pick up a building. So the Nexus should get up, but the question is, how can they punish it? Now, back at home, for both sides, expansions are new. This game's kind of normalizing. Despite this early game aggression, I would give a small edge to Heart just because he's got upgrades going. And what's kind of cool was Gumiho's going mech. Crank can actually graviton beam up those tanks to possibly break a tank line.
There's so many colors, Rifkin, just on the mini-map.
I know, I love it.
It's beautiful.
Well, this is definitely an awkward as heck start, but I've got some faith. Team A.P.S, Team Axiom Pro streamers. Let's not forget they did win the first one, and finally Gumiho sees that Stargate. Jesus, that took forever, but can't even deal with it. I think the Phoenixes can kill the Marines. I think Crank can actually defend.
They definitely could. Now he's gonna go into the natural. All right.
This is actually not too bad of an idea. Picking off the gas mining probes here from his opponent.
He's got to rebuild the Stargate if he wants to get any more Phoenixes, it is. But Heart with a rather nice army. There are siege tanks, not sieged, and not that many. Those Phoenixes could have picked them up.
I am definitely concerned that if those Phoenixes pick up those tanks, there may be no way to hold. In fact, there might just straight up be no way to hold. Heart gets on top of Gumiho completely out of surprise. The Zealots charge in. Can they be the buffer he needs? A secret missile.
Whoa.
I take all that back. Destroys the Marine count.
Everything happened. The Zealots were attacking, the siege tank shot happened, and then the secret missile. Like,
not to mention,
were obliterated.
Let's not forget about that blue flame, just glory that is coming out of these hellings. But despite this, Crank actually does get the Oracle over here to take out Choya's probes to this new base. Might not be out for too long. Actually, it might not be a bad idea for Heart to just go over there and kill the Nexus, remove it from play. Unless they're leaving it up intentionally for bait, just keep going back and fishing up probes.
No idea. Gumiho investing in the Thors is an interesting idea. I mean, scared of maybe mass Phoenixes, but...
Oh, I like that idea, to be honest with you. Because it's really hard for Choya to deal with this. Like, what's he going to do? Archons? That's about it?
Oh, you mean for the Phoenixes? Yeah, that is true. But they're not that many Phoenixes. I think the fear is that they're gonna go double Stargate Phoenixes, and it is gonna be a big problem.
Well, cleaning up this ninja base is a pretty big deal. This was Choya's lead he gained in the early game, essentially, now dissipating. So, still, I'd put this back on somewhat even footing. Mech is going to be really interesting, though, because unlike most normal matches, we're not going to have Gumiho just dropping a bunch of Hellbats on top of Marines. Like, there's going to be the Phoenix to deal with. There's going to be whatever Crank has. Great pickups here on the Hellions trying to retreat. And I got to tell you, Zombie, I'm feeling really good for Team A.P.S. right now.
Oh yeah, I think they're in a great position, but yeah, mech can really add a whole lot. What's unfortunate about going mech is that while it's probably the better option overall if you're going to look at 2v2s, like overall stats, which we can't, unfortunately, like no one plays that many 2v2s, it could be better, but the problem right now is that these thirds are going to be so hard to take. I mean, the Thors might have been for the Phoenixes, but they also might have been just because they're more mobile. Like,
I really like that Crank might just be able to go Immortal Phoenix, and I should make that a viable strategy.
Yeah.
Heart gonna Widowmine into Gumiho's base at some point, by the way. Didn't quite catch this. It's just kind of camping out right now, but Doom Drop is loaded up, and while the army is scanned or revealed to be outside of the base, Crank kind of baits the army from Choya off to the left, allowing the big unload here in the main. And Heart can kind of sacrifice everything here if he can cause enough damage to Gumiho. He's on top of the armor, he's going to get those upgrades. The Widowmines are burrowed. The Hellbats are going to try and get on top of this, but I think Heart might be able to get away from this. Oh, yeah, the feedbacks actually take out the medvacs.
I don't think that was enough damage. Yeah, he killed a couple of SCVs, but there wasn't any production, didn't even get the upgrade. I think his supply depots went down.
That was, I think, just really flashy out of Heart, but he's going to push to the front at the same time. So you're saying we'll take out those Widowmines. Widowmines actually, you know, this isn't just good to have Widowmines. I'd say it's necessary. With the amount of Archons and Zealots, these are the counter.
Here's what happens, though, with the Heart and Crank as a team. It just seems to happen every single game. You know, Crank might open up with the aggression, Heart gets the mid-game, and then Crank gets the late game. So, you know, where is Crank in all of this? Well, he's back home on 3 bases.
Making Colossus,
going up to Colossus and High Templars.
Yeah, Craig's actually got the upgrades, too. Troya doesn't really have much going for him in that regard, but this is a big brute force attack coming, and let's just hope Crank actually got enough behind this, because more Zealots being warped in from this north pylon, everything swooping on top of Heart. He doesn't have a whole hell of a lot left, but, ooh, a couple hallucinated Archons is cool. This is kind of Craig's signature move. I remember him doing this a lot in PvPs, actually, but, those Colossus, they might just be what he needed. Sadly, tanks are really good at zoning out Colossus, same with the Viking count, so yeah, this is gonna be so awkward, so difficult. Yeah, where's Crank's Phoenix in all this?
Oh, they're the army. There's not that many, and the Phoenixes will be able to take care of them and the Colossus. It's a big problem. They need a good concave, but there might just be too much army from Choya and Gumiho.
Oh, those tanks will get fantastic. He graviton beams of some of the tanks, removing from the fight as predicted, but the swooping on the left side, the Zealots flanking on top of Crank, and I think Team A.P.S. has been broken. This is way too much to deal with. The Immortals are retreating back to the main, but there's just no way to stop this push. If it was just tanks, it's a different story, but it's Archons, it's Charge Lots, and Landed Vikings. Oh my god. Looks like Team GoodGod is making Team Axiom Pro streamers say, good god.
Good one, Ripken. Let's not forget that Choya and Gumiho were on, you know, only 2 bases each for this. You know, while Heart and Crank did try to be a little bit greedier, and that Doom Drop, well, it just didn't do anything.
It looked like it was going to do so much. It really did.
It's like Doom Drops in the TVZ. They seem like a good idea.